Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. We haven't posted in a while, and so I wanted to take a minute just to let you know that we are coming back online. We have watched so many amazing things happen in the last several months, and we have completely relocated to a new place, which I'm going to share with you in a few minutes. But it's been a crazy transition, and we were without internet for 5 months, and so that meant that I couldn't really post a whole lot. And out here, if you can see around me, we're in the middle of the woods, and the signal on my phone was really bad. And so it made it really hard to upload things and do things. And so I've been posting on some of our social media, but I haven't really done a whole lot on our channel for this past several months. And I wanted to take a minute now to kind of share with you all that has happened and where we are now. Well, really not all of it, because it would take me forever to share all of it. And I want to keep this somewhat reasonably timed. And just take a minute and just kind of share with you on how we ended up where we are now and what's happening with our urban roost homestead. So, let me start with, first of all, saying that, obviously you can hear the, I don't know, cicadas or whatever this is in the background. It is probably, if I had to guess, around 7 o'clock in the evening here in, just north of Orangeburg, South Carolina. And this is where our new home is, where we are now, and it's beautiful. I've ordered a microphone, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me very well. I will be changing that, and it's just not here yet. And I know that there's a lot of the sound of nature around me, so bear with me if you can't hear me. Just keep listening. I'll try to put subtitles and make it easier for y'all. But anyway, so let me go back a few months. You know, we are faith-filled people. We are people of God that believe that God moves on our behalf as we follow him and seek after him, and that he directs our steps. And so we have felt for a long time that we really wanted to move out of this city, and we were dreaming for that. We were preparing for that, but it just wasn't the time. And we had even looked at land. We had tried to find a new house. We had considered moving with my mom and getting a VA loan. I mean, we had looked at a whole lot of options, and none of them were panning out. And so we had kind of all but given up, and we had stepped back, and we're just kind of focused on what was the next step, where we were. And to be fair, we were living on 1/10 of an acre, and we had kind of maximized and exploded the space that we had. We had so many plants. In fact, my entire orchard that's here now, with, I think I've got 17 fruit trees. All of those came with us from the other property. We had so many plants that moved with us. We had a whole big tub of seeds and plant pots and dirt and fencing. We had a boatload of stuff that we brought with us. So we had expanded where we were, and we feel like this has been one of those moments like the prayer of Jabez, where we prayed, Lord, enlarge our territory. And that's what he's done. And the way that he did it was a miracle in so many different ways. But it was so much dependent on community and being part of a community. So we had basically kind of given up last summer and started figuring out other options. How were we going to shift? Because at the time my mom was living with us, and we needed to get her on her own. And there was just a lot of transitions that had to happen. All of our children were coming into adulthood, and there was just a lot of moving pieces. And we just were praying and giving it to the Lord. We had no cash saved. We were doing what we could with what we had, and really focused on food provision and sustainability within our family and learning all the things. And we were in a prayer session one day. I think it was in October. I was in a prayer session. My husband wasn't there that time. And one of the ladies at my church, she looked at me and said, Dayna, the Lord said to tell you that your land is coming soon. Well, you know, by then I had kind of wanted to give up hope, because it's hard to hope for something and keep having it not happen. Just being very transparent, hope deferred makes the heart sick. You know, that's what the Bible says, and I think it's in Psalms and might be in Proverbs. But I was in a moment where my heart was sick in the waiting and in the deferring of hope. And I was feeling very discouraged in that moment. So I kind of had a hard time believing it. But there was something about the way she said it and the timing and what God spoke. And the other lady next to her said that she saw me in this like whirlwind of change all at this one moment, she said, but in the middle of it, she saw me walking in perfect peace. And so those 2 words I received in October. And I have learned to trust when God says something and when I feel it in my spirit that is true, to believe him, even when it doesn't make sense, to believe him. So fast forward to, I believe it was the beginning or middle of November, and we got a phone call to come meet with a client of ours. We had a landscape company, and we had a property that we helped manage for them up here in the Orangeburg area. And when we came out, you know, there was a part of us that was thinking we were coming out to get another project or something, because we had times where we would clear places for them and different things. So there was a part of us that was kind of thinking it was going to be something like that. And we got out here, and long story short, I'm not going to go into all the details, but these are people that we've been in relationship with and community with for about 18 years. And they sat us down. They said, listen, we know that you've been dreaming to do this. We want to offer you a proposition. And part of the proposition was that they would lease us 5 acres in exchange for what we were already doing for them in maintaining the property out here. So instead of them paying us to drive out here, we would actually live out here and take care of the property for them, and then lease 5 acres of what they had available here. And of course, we were very excited about that. Well, then there was also another acre that's right next to it that they worked it out where we were able to purchase that acre and put our house on it. And we had other families that came alongside of us that helped fund the, basically the refurb. We had to gut our house basically, that we were living in. We had lived there for 22 years. And so it needed a lot of work. Needed a new roof, needed a new kitchen, new bathroom, everything needed to be updated. And so there was 3 families that came together. They helped fund that project up front. And then when we closed on it, we were able to pay it all back. And all of those things were just God giving favor. And then in the middle of that, we had another person in our community that had a camper, because we were in a spot where we needed to figure out what to do, because we couldn't just live in our house while they were doing all the remodels, because they needed to do the remodels. But we were also in the process of building the house, well, having the model home put here and then building everything else here. And we couldn't close on that until everything was done. So we had this transition period of about 6 months where we needed somewhere to live, and the solution was a camper. So we had another friend in our community who had a camper that was sitting on a lot for the last couple years in Georgia, who told us if we go get it, we can use it and we can stay in it. So we went and got the camper, brought it back. It needed some repair, so we got some things repaired on it, and it sustained us through that time of transition until we were able to close on this house. And so in less than 6 months, we had completely remodeled our old house and sold it. A month earlier than we planned, by the way, because I think we had a contract on it in 3 days, and we closed like 3 weeks later or something like that. It was crazy fast how that happened. And then on this property here, because we were able to access the land before we actually closed on the house, we were able to come out, and we had help getting the livestock fencing in. We had help clearing all the trees. We just had a lot of community that came along and really helped us get everything set up so that when we got here, we were able to really run. And so we moved on May 29th to this property in North South Carolina. It was an 84-mile trip. I think we had 5 trucks and 3 trailers or something like that. Plus pulling the camper. I mean, it was a lot that we had with our sons and family and friends and everybody that just kind of helped us move. And it was pouring down rain. But we needed to do it that weekend because we had other things coming up the next week. And so we had to get it moved when we did. And when I say moved, I don't mean just like moving the camper. I mean, we had all of the chickens, the ducks, the rabbits. We had all of that. That was another part of the community. So a friend of ours that had 4 acres in Somerville let us park the camper there for 4 months so that we weren't having to commute all the way from here to there. And it was just another element of coming alongside of what God was doing in our family. And so they let us have our animals there as well. So we had all of the fencing, the coops, the animals, all that stuff that we had to move in one day. And so we got it all out here. got everything moved. And for the last month and a half, we have been setting up infrastructure. We've been getting the gardens done. We've been cleaning up all the debris from where they had to move all the trees to move the house in, or cut the trees to move the house in. There was a lot of trash left on the property here before we got it. I mean, we've just done so much. And so right now, since we moved here, we now have a total of 51 chickens, I think. We lost one yesterday. We think he got bit by something. 50 or 51 chickens. No, because we added 3. Yeah, about 51 chickens. 2 turkeys. 2 baby peafowls somewhere that are hiding. I haven't been able to find them today. 10 ducks. 4 goats. And 11 rabbits right now. In addition to, we have so many things planted that are growing. And all food based. We have our medicinal gardens put in. We have, I mean, we've just done so much. And so as we get settled in the next couple weeks, and I get my microphone and I get everything ready, Alex, my husband, and I, we're going to sit down and we're going to share with you, and we're going to do a tour. And I'm going to let him share his perspective too on this whole process. Because, I mean, it was a really hard thing that all of a sudden the door was open and we had to run. And it was this grand adventure, but let me tell you something, transition can be hard. There was a lot of purging. I think we made as many trips, if not more, to the dump and to Goodwill that we did to move stuff out here. Because we had lived in that house for 22 years. There was a lot of stuff that we had accrued, a lot of stuff that just was sitting around that we hadn't used. And then a lot of the materials that we brought out here, now we're repurposing and using for a lot of things. We built, the chicken coops out of pallets and plywood and scrap lumber. We built the goat house out of scrap lumber and plywood. I'm working on a raised bed garden up next to my outdoor kitchen out of scrap lumber. There's a lot of things that we've been able to do with just scrap wood pieces. Alex built a feed storage bin out of scrap pallets and plywood, and a door that he used as the top and put hinges on it so we could open it and put a tarp over it so it's waterproof right now. And we'll do more permanent things as we go, but for right now, it's helping us get set up. And our lease agreement is for 3 years. So we are anticipating God providing and opening the door for us to be able to provide food, not only for us, but also for the families around us, for the community that we're part of, and to really enlarge this and grow it and maximize what we're doing here. There's so much potential, and there's also a need for it in this season. We really feel like there's an assignment attached to this that God is doing in our lives, in the lives of our family. It's just me and my husband out here. We have a tiny house that we built. Our boys are all adults now. They're doing their own thing. And so it's a little bit weird in this transition for us at such a young age. Well, I feel young. I'm 43, but I feel young. And, for us to be starting this whole new season, I mean, it's like we have both just shifted gears into a whole new career path in the middle of our, golden, I don't know, what are the golden years? Middle age years. I don't know. My husband's 51 and I'm 43. So we're basically starting over with a whole new assignment and a whole new life. And we're still part of our church community. Sorry, don't mind Chase. He's barking at me. But I just wanted to take a minute to share with you guys, because I'm sitting out here enjoying the stillness, enjoying this new space. And I just planted some more butternut squash and pumpkins, and just really thinking about all the goodness of God, and wanted to take a minute to share with you. So, but Chase is barking to get my attention, so I'm going to check on him, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.